This is Eagle Owl, and today I'll be talking about Jalen Hurts getting tough coaching, also Nick Sirianni's role on the team, and we got to talk about Devonta Smith and Nolan Smith. But let's get straight into it. All right, so let's just hop straight into it. Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith spoke to the media. He sound energetic, sound like he got this energy going into the season. Look like he's healthy. He even talked about bulking up and adding some muscle. But let me play this clip.
Me, man. You see a little, see a lot. See too much, you don't see nothing. So that's one thing that I'm gonna just try to hone in on this year. Just focus on my keys, my line, my get off, just being on my stuff, being on my 2x2, and just focus on things that I can control.
How about in terms of physically, the jump between year one and year two? Sometimes physically guys get a little bigger, a little stronger. They know more about nutrition. Have you been able to kind of change your body in any way to kind of withhold?
Oh yeah, I'm coming in. I'm coming in this year 245. I was about 238 last year. I was on the heavier side, but I'm gonna come in a little more bulky, and it wasn't because of people thinking, oh my. No, I just want to get there, just personally, and me and Coach Wash talked about it, and he feel comfortable with that, and he said, as long as I keep my speed, we good.
Both Nick.
See, I love it. I love it for Nolan Smith, adding muscle, trying to get out there and get it going because I won't say he had a disappointing season. Usually, when I bring up Nolan Smith, I bring up how the season progressed for him. You know, it was a lot of guys that just didn't show up in that Tampa Bay game, but Nolan Smith put out some good tape. He put out some stuff like, yo, if he's the next guy or if he step up and take that next step, he's going to be really good in this league. So Nolan Smith just got to stay on that trajectory, keep that energy. He still got his guy, Brandon Graham, still in the locker room with him. And I think Nolan Smith take it to another level. I think when he gets on the field, which should be a lot more, he's going to take full advantage. I think a 6, 7 sack season for Nolan Smith is a huge plus. It's a huge plus. I know some people got really high expectations of him getting double digit sacks going into his second year. If he get that, to me, he exceeded expectations. But if he could get that 6 to 7 sacks, be impactful in the run game, I know Vic Fangio is probably going to drop him like in coverage a little more than last year, and we'll see how he excel in his role. Because the same question is being asked to him, like, what if they move you to an off the ball linebacker, which I think would be a disaster. I think he should stay at the edges, and when he drop back, it should be sometimes. But when I see him really thrive, is going to get the quarterback. Like I seen him get his first sack against Tua. I seen how he rocked Baker Mayfield the first time we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the second time we played them. So Nolan Smith, man, I expect big things out of him, especially in the run game. Expect for him to do good in the pass game and just going to get the quarterback. To me, he's at his best going to get the quarterback. He reminds me of Hassan Reddick. That's who he was projected to, his comp player. They compare the players, and Hassan Reddick was the big comparison. So I expect Nolan Smith to do some things, but let's talk about a guy we got high expectations for, and that's Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts look like he's being coached a little harder than last year. So there's this clip Howard Eskin put out, and I'm gonna let it play as I talk. And it looked like the quarterback coach was getting on Jalen Hurts about something. It was something. Jalen Hurts nodding his head, taking heed, and then he threw like a nice ball to Saquon Barkley. But just the little stuff like that I like to see, because one of the things or the problems with the Eagles, they were saying like, yo, Jalen Hurts was too buddy with the coaches. We know Nick Sirianni is a cool guy. He'll get on you here and there, but overall Nick Sirianni is a cool guy, a coaches player type guy. Then Brian Johnson was like a father to him, but like the happy dad to him. Like he won't really coach him hard. He won't really do too much. Did Brian Johnson really have full control of the offense? We really don't know to this point. But they was all buddy and cool, which is cool at times, but you need somebody to be on Jalen Hurts. And it seemed like this QB coach, if Kellen Moore don't really got it like that, as far as being hard on the quarterback and things like that, but look like this QB coach is going to be on Jalen Hurts. And according to Jeff Kerr, Jalen Hurts with the offensive staff really been working the middle. So Jeff Kerr said, like, yo, it's been a lot of passes on the middle of the field, and you want to hear that during practice. Because if Jalen Hurts is struggling or technically not the best at throwing the ball across the middle, keep working on it, because that's what practice for, is to work on your weakness. And if its weakness is working the middle of the field, it's good to see that they're doing that during practice. That's why we are probably hearing, oh yeah, Jalen Hurts is hitting Paris Campbell a lot. But it's going to be interesting how we use Devonta Smith when he come back, because Devonta Smith haven't been at voluntary OTAs. So it's going to be interesting how we use him. Is he going to be working the middle of the field a lot more? Or we just got Paris Campbell doing that now because Devonta Smith is not there? We will see. But again, it's good to hear Jalen Hurts working on his weakness. It's good to hear that he's being tough coached. And shout out to Howard Eskins showing that, because I didn't see that. All I seen at first was just Jalen Hurts throwing the ball to Saquon Barkley, but I didn't see how that play started. And it's good that, the QB coach is on Jalen Hurts. We need that. We definitely need that. And speaking of coaching, let's segue in right to Nick Sirianni. So Bo Wolf talked about last week's OTAs. He talked about Nick Sirianni because everybody was wondering, what is Nick Sirianni's role on this team? You see, I just talked about the QB coach. We already know what Kellen Moore is going to bring. We know what Vic Fangio is, but what is Nick Sirianni going to do? Is he just a sideline hand clapper, this and that? But let's listen to what Bo Wolf had to say.
Nick Sirianni is like one of my takeaways from watching that practice last week is that like this is where he does his best work, right?
Okay.
Like this
Yep.
is his favorite thing, is to be coaching at the details in practice, and he is on top of all this stuff. He's getting after Johnny Wilson for not getting after him, just teaching him about if he's coming across the field this way and the ball is thrown behind him, don't just keep going this way, follow the ball and go upfield that way. Sort of small coaching points like that. Like this is the stuff that I think that maybe he is best at. And so like that's fun. And there is this era or like feeling of newness, but without knowing why they fell off such a cliff in the first place at the end of last season, it's hard to know whether they have done enough to rectify the things that might have been going wrong.
So as a
All right, so it sounds like Nick Sirianni will be more of a let's work on the details. He probably work with individuals more one-on-one and let the coordinators coordinate. That's what it sounded like was going to happen with this team. And Bo Wolf made a good point. Like, this is where Nick Sirianni thrives. Because remember, when that pressure was really off of him, calling plays and coming up with offensive schemes, my Super Bowl year, he really thrived in that role. And I think he can do that again. If Kellen Moore handled the business, our QB coach or whatever, the passing game coordinators or whatever, if they handle their business, and Nick Sirianni could just work on guys, individual, and work on the details of the game, I think we can thrive. I know a lot of people like to clown Nick Sirianni, but I got to bring this guy up. Chip Kelly's probably one of the smartest guys coming up with plays, but he was so unlikable that the team just couldn't thrive, couldn't get any further. Like Deshaun Jackson even admitted, like, yo, I had one of my best, or if not his best year under Chip Kelly, but Chip Kelly just wasn't a good person, like on the field. I don't know how he is with his family, this and that, but far as with the team, he came off like he wasn't a good person, and he really just truly didn't like the players, which is not cool. Whereas though Nick Sirianni, he's really a good person, but he struggles with the details. So that's why you could supplement coordinators that can do it. So hopefully Nick Sirianni, this role for him, I won't even say new role, back to his old role, really works for him. Because if not, and Nick Sirianni got to dip his hand in a cookie jar, it's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. All right, and I promised y'all that I was going to talk about Devonta Smith, because Devonta Smith was on WIP. And as we all know, Jalen Waddle got paid, and Jalen Waddle got paid a little more than Devonta Smith. Now, if you compare the numbers are not that big of a difference. I'm talking about on the field, like yards, catches, like they're pretty much almost the same player. Do you like the fast, speedy guy, or you like the technician? Do you like the technician? You get Devonta Smith. You like the speedy guy? You get Jalen Waddle. Now Jalen Waddle's getting that 28, almost 29 a year. We already know Devonta Smith got 25. And this is what Devonta Smith actually had to say, like about his contract and why he stayed with the Eagles.
League and guys, I guess, seemingly whether you want to be a number one guy or 1B guy, however you want to sort of phrase it, sometimes that can lead guys to want to go somewhere else so that they can have their own shot. So this is a long way around to asking you why it was important for you to remain here and sign an extension here and being an Eagle here and not necessarily looking to go somewhere else for more money or anything else. Why was it important for you to secure your future here?
I think the main thing is I feel like I'm in one of the top tier organizations. Howie, Mr. Leary, they take care of us. Anytime you're in the building, you feel like your family. You don't feel like you're just going to work. You're actually, having fun when you're in the building. It's not just go to work and then just go home. You enjoy being around those guys. And the relationships I've built in the city, I wouldn't want to be nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You see, he says like a family. Culture matters. Culture always matters. He is with a top tier organization. So whenever Devonta Smith decided to hang up his cleats, he will be a favorite in Philadelphia. He will always have a job in Philadelphia. He probably always have a job in media if he want to do that because he played for a top tier organization. Because honestly, he could have went somewhere and just been a number one and got maybe even AJ Brown money, 30 to 32 million. But he's like, nah, I want to stay where I'm at. I'm fine here. I love it here. The culture here is great. And that's why you want to build that culture because guys just start taking hometown discounts. And now when you start looking at Devonta Smith contract and maybe even the AJ Brown contract, you start to look like, man, luckily we got this done early because Waddle and these dudes getting paid. And people keep calling Smitty like, oh, see, he should have just waited it out when why players don't wait it out to get paid more. Well, when Devonta Smith contract is coming up or whatever, and say if he renew or Howie Roseman decided to renew a little earlier, trust me, Devonta Smith is going to be making that 30 plus a year. Howie Roseman is going to look out for his guys. He's not going to let the contract expire. He's not going to let contracts go to dispute or whatever, especially with a talent like Devonta Smith or even the AJ Brown. See, AJ Brown got paid 2 years earlier. Devonta Smith, if he keep balling, he's going to get paid again. We see how the contract works with AJ Brown as he get up there in age. Will he retire off this last contract? We will see. But all I'm saying is that you get guys like Devonta Smith, and if you keep building the culture like this, you'll be surprised how much people will take or money they will take to help the team because the culture is really good. I know Patriots had that for years until Tom Brady's like, all right, enough is enough. I'm at the tail end. I want to get paid, and Patriots paid the ultimate price. But building that culture, and when you build the culture again, you won't try to milk it for as much money as possible. You'll stay as long as you got the money you deserve. Again, you will take a smaller discount because the culture is right and the culture really matters. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about the news today? Devonta Smith, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, Nolan Smith. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.